All right, I finally think we are live. Sorry, folks, I had some problems getting this thing connected. Took me about 5 minutes longer than I had hoped, but here we are. Let me just get the stream up and running here. On my phone, there we go. I see Vivian Johnson here. Cam, I like to walk. Sammy Woo, Rock 86, Wesley, the conductor, Sebastian, Marge, Boom Productions, Prog bass player. Sheen is here. So we've got 3 mods. Thank you for tuning in. And I want to, and Zach McNally here as well. Good afternoon, Zach. I want to thank Mark D for sending a $7 super chat right at the end of the last live stream, which I missed. And speaking of super chats, Briguito 165. Thank you so much, Briguito, for your super chat. And it was an absolutely gorgeous day, although it has cooled off a little bit. Thank you again, Mark D, for that super chat at the end of the last live stream, and thank you, Riguito, for kicking this one off with a super. And Mark D is a member, and she was asking if I was going to be taking a walk through Mount Pleasant Cemetery, so I thought, why not head over to Mount Pleasant Cemetery, and we'll take a stroll through that property. So rather than just taking Yonge Street all the way down into downtown, we're gonna check out Mount Pleasant. Let me get up here. So this is probably the spot, either here or maybe Dundas Square, where I've started the most live streams. This is my neighborhood in Yonge and Eglinton, or at Yonge and Eglinton, however you want to say it. Jellybean is here. Derek C is here. Embedded SRAM. And once again, I am going with the camera's internal microphones. People have commented that they like the stereo sounds versus the mono sound from using the DJI mic. And I also think it benefits from less wireless connections, which makes things a bit more stable since there's a million wireless connections going on between my phone and the DJI mic. Nicole Morse is here. Rosencrown, Dollarama. This is familiar ground, but when I get to Eglinton, we are going to go east over to Mount Pleasant. I go to this place quite often, the Midtown Kitchen. There's a place called Ono Poke Bowl in there that is fantastic. And they've got that special $9.99 crispy rice with a drink. There's someone having a shouting match over there. All right, just high school kids being high school kids, I guess. I got out of the apartment today and I did a very different kind of video. I think that'll be on the channel Wednesday or Thursday. Tomorrow morning's video will be one of the more conventional ones. And then maybe Wednesday or Thursday I'll do a morning live stream. But look at this crowd of people. You're a dumb American? What is a poke bowl? It's basically a big bowl of rice, often with fresh salmon or tuna and some veggies, usually Japanese mayo. So we have Eglinton's Avenue coming up. I almost said Eglinton Station, but that's true as well. So I'll go left here. We'll head over to Mount Pleasant Road, then I'll head south down to the cemetery, and then we'll meander through that a little bit. There's the Young Eglinton Center on the right. More screaming teenagers. All right, so we're gonna go east here. Let's look at the new bike lane installations. This is good to see. Mark D asking if I said good morning to my plants. I don't know if I verbally said good morning to them. I did miss them. Missed them, not miss them. I may have added a 9th plant to the collection today. Just a little one, a 4-inch pot. Hello? Oh, do you want to be on a live stream? No? Oh.
Later, thank you.
Okay, nice to meet you. Cheers. Just ran into a subscriber. Awesome. Friendly lady. Haunting Live, how many KLM do I walk? KM, you mean? I have no idea. These live streams typically go for at least 90 minutes. But this is east on the north side of Eglinton. Nice new bike lane, curb protected. Although I think it disappears just up ahead. There's snakes and lattes. I am. I'm live right now.
Oh, what's your name?
Johnny Stride.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I watch you sometimes.
Do you want to be on the stream?
Sure.
All right, we just ran into a viewer. Hello.
Hi, how are you? My name's Joey. I watch you all the time.
Awesome. Well, nice to meet you.
Too.
All right.
How do you get a picture?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
All right,
Have a
cheers.
good day.
You too. Running into viewers all over the place today. That was Joey. Viewer number 2. Mark Lang is here. Mark D tried an Isabella Mocha Donut. Eglinton looking almost complete except for this stretch of road here with no bike lane. Just a friendly reminder to like or dislike, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I go live next. Today just felt like too good a day to not get out and make some content. Jellybean saying everyone should just stand at the corner of Yonge and Eglinton. There's the quote-unquote star of a video I did last week that has been racking up a lot of views. The Loblaws here. It's funny that there's a boycott going on, yet I've been going to this store more than I ever have. But I haven't been spending any money there. I don't know about the word celebrity, Evan, but maybe doofus supplies? Mark D was at Mandarin for lunch, the one at Yonge and Eglinton. There's La Carnita. Pretty good tacos, expensive for what they are. That used to be a popular night spot in the area. So we're gonna head south at Mount Pleasant and head down to the cemetery. Then we'll cut through the cemetery. Copacabana. Sadly, one of the victims of the North York van attack worked at that Copacabana. JD tried Gus tacos. What do I order? I order tacos with no fish. Pretty much anything as long as there's no fish on it. But I love how when the weather gets nice, the streets are a lot livelier. Hey, this coffee bar, I think, is somewhat new. I think I've been there once before. There's the Harp. New tavern. Speaking of taverns, the Unicorn, one of the oldest ones in the city at the time, was given the boot to make way for this fitness factory and condo across the street. Cam doesn't like steak tacos too chewy. They use a good steak and they cook it properly. It's not too chewy. TV wall mounting. Friends, do not let friends mount their TVs. Put them on stands, please. Keep them nice and low. If you watched my Johnny Stumble stream last night, we were taking a look at the TV Too High subreddit. Eva is here. Good afternoon, Eva. Yeah, Paul, it's quite nice. About 17, 18 degrees. There's a colorful bubble tea shop. Hello, Kurt Affair. There used to be a Subway sandwich up here on the left. This area has lost a lot of its Subways. There used to be like 4 or 5. Now there's only one down in the Yonge-Eglinton Center. Shawarma Royale. Lunch offer. Falafel, fries, and a Pepsi, $9.99. Queen chicken, fries and a Pepsi, $11.49. Kebab, $10.99. Oh, it's Pepsi only on that chicken poutine. I would like a chicken poutine and a 7-Up, please. No, you gotta have Pepsi. There's some idiotic Metrolinx land usage. A future LRT station. Really should be a retail outlet. But we are now going south on Mount Pleasant Road. This will take us down to the cemetery. Cam says yum Pepsi. There's the Granite Brewery. That place has some fantastic wings and some really good beer. Right next to the Yonge Fresh Market. Lisa Gibson, $6.99. Lisa Gibson, thank you so much for the $6.99. Ooh, look at that dangly plant. Do remember to support your local shops like this one. Some succulents, $4.99. We really plant shopping. Look at that beauty, $34.99. Reasonable prices. Jelly Bean says, oh, no more plants. My thumb is not green. I'm gonna roll my sleeves up. It is. Very nice outside. There's a Dollarama. Smoke Show, barbecue, and brew. I don't know, Carlos. I've never even heard that term before. But this is south down the east side of Mount Pleasant Road. This will take you all the way into downtown. I think we come this way on a stream every 2-3 months or so. Bolin Thai cuisine. That, I believe, is a seniors living home. Cam says it's popsicle weather. And good afternoon, Muhan. I definitely could have worn shorts instead of jeans. Greetings, Gertej. Costume sale, $10. Hey, more plants. Not as impressed. Foxy's Bake Shop. Stephanie Austin says there's a new Mexican shop, Mi Amor. Hey!
How's it going?
Are you sniping me on purpose?
No, just chilling out here.
It's Mr. Mountain Hiker.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, where are you headed?
South, Mount Pleasant Cemetery.
Oh, are you? You know what, actually I just did a walk there 2 days ago, and I was sort of, reading some of the headstones and that, and one of the headstones said that, the person died in like the 1920s, and I looked at the birth date, and it was like 1833, and I was like, wow, like, I can't even imagine what Toronto would have looked like in 1833. Like, it's like mind-boggling.
People well-dressed and horse poop everywhere.
Seriously. Yeah.
Dirt roads.
Yeah, no, it's a good walk.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll see something interesting there.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's good to see you
Yeah,
again.
good to see you.
All right, it's
Take care.
Mr. Mountain Hiker, everyone.
Enjoy your walk.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
Always a friendly dude. We've had several run-ins with him. He's always in the area. He's got to be loving this nice weather, being out on his bike. That makes 3 viewers we've run into. Mi Amor. I don't think I've seen it yet. Robert says lots of fans today. I was at IKEA on Saturday and someone stopped me and we had an interesting talk, and then someone else recognized me from that.
In that park was an hour and a half.
Kurt Affair, that might be true. Oh, it's a flower shop, the arch enemy of a plant shop. Boo. Ain't nobody want flowers. Stephanie says just south of Manor Road. We are at Manor Road. There it is, Mi Amor Mexican Store. Authentic Mexican products, tortillas, chips, salsas, condiments, cheese, main dishes, and more. Some cute decor. I don't think the glare is letting us see in. And for all you book lovers, it's a Toronto Public Library. I just started reading a book last night. First book I've cracked open in a while. It's called Atomic Habits. I made it about 9 pages in, which for me is pretty good. Salahatin Altis says hello, greetings to you. Rocking your channel membership badge. Thank you for this support. There's the Toronto Camera Club. I don't think I have any cameras worthy of being there. Hey, the sofa bed store. Has there ever been such thing as a sofa bed that was either a good bed or sofa, let alone both? Curtis Fair was listening to the audiobook version of the book I'm reading. Well, I said cracked open a book, and by that I mean I put it on my ancient Kobo e-reader, which still holds a charge, and it's backlit. Talk about an old piece of tech that has stood the test of time. I have no need or reason to upgrade it. At the old Regent Theatre, coming soon, Not a Condo. We are getting near to the cemetery. Thank you, Mark D, for asking me about walking through the cemetery. Otherwise, I might have hopped on the subway and gone somewhere out of the ways to live stream from. But this works well for me. It's nice and close. Marge says Kobos live forever. Well, that's good to know. One Red Cloud says water beds are cool. My brother had one and my cousin had one growing up. I never had any desire to get one. They always struck me as kind of creepy. I can't imagine having a date over and being like, there's my bed, and it's all watery. Might as well have red mood lighting. Drape yourself in velvet. Just watch out for the coyotes at the cemetery. Not too worried about that. We've come across a few coyotes on these streams. Millwood bread and butter. This place is the Starving Artist, waffles and espresso. Hey, softball game going on. We're on the wrong side of the street. Philip says they get sick. Oh, that pitch did not go. She just hit a bloop hit to the pitcher and then outran it to first base. All right. I would mark that one as E1 if I was a scorekeeper. All right, I'll cross over to the other side of the street here, and we're a few blocks north of the cemetery. Cam says, what's the difference between baseball and softball? A heck of a lot and not a heck of a lot. But softball at the lower levels is not that difficult from a hitting point of view, but softball at the higher levels is extremely difficult. You stand very close and they absolutely wing those pitches in there. This is like an organized game, it looks like. They got umpires out there. It's opposite team pitch. There's two ways to do opposite team pitch. There's one where there's a board on the ground. And basically your ball has to go between 6 and 12 feet in the air. And if it's to be a strike, it has to land on the board. And the other way is fast pitch, where it's just like baseball. You have to throw a strike into the zone. Curtis Fair says they probably have a better offense than the Jays. Well, she hit it to the pitcher. That's more offense than the Jays can muster.
And the guy sits on the side.
They had a pathetic showing over the weekend and the series before it. Yesterday was a comedy of errors. And that is Davisville Avenue. No, it's not. It's Balliol Street. Davisville Avenue is a block north of here. Thank you, Evan. What direction? We are going south, but we're about to detour through the cemetery where Mr. Mountain Hiker said he saw a gravestone where the person was born in 1830. What would this place have looked like 200 years ago? This next street is Merton. So this should basically spit us out at Yonge and St. Clair. once I get to the other side of the cemetery. Gonna miss the light cycle. $2.50 Monday to Friday, $2.50. Saturday, $4. Sunday, $2.50. Why not just say $2.50 Sunday to Friday, Saturday, $4? Why do we got to separate Sunday from Monday to Friday? That makes no sense. The week starts on Sunday, so just say Sunday to Friday, $2.50. Saturday, $4. On this side over here, just draw a smiley face. All right, Gertej. We successfully waited out the light cycle. Dominion Coal and Wood. Originally located on Danforth Avenue, the Dominion Coal and Wood Company was founded in 1912 by William H. Smith. And there used to be those silos right in this spot. There also used to be a commuter rail line right through here. This is the Beltline Trail that runs east and west parallel to the cemetery here, but it also cuts through the cemetery and continues on south of here. JD says Apple has an announcement tomorrow. I think they're announcing their newest iPads. But we could go east of Mount Pleasant, but we're going to go west. Wow, look how old some of these gravestones are. Mr. Mountain Hiker said he saw someone, or one that dated back. Yeah, look at this. 1830. Oh, that's 1880. All right, I thought that said 1830. That is still 1907. This one is 1870 to 1937. There's a 10-kilometer speed limit for cyclists through here, but if you go to Google Maps and do an overhead view, this cemetery is absolutely massive. It's not the oldest one in the city. That would be St. James on Parliament. And there's the necropolis just south of there. Do not race or train here. Non-compliance may result in a trespass order by the police. I think it's hard to complain about that. They're saying you're welcome, just don't be a dickhead. Mark D letting us know the cemetery was opened in 1876, and this must have been a somebody. Alexander Rogers. If that's how he lives afterlife, I wonder how he lived when he was alive. That's an impressive set of digs. Greg, I don't know, but Mark D said 1876 is when it opened, so that would be the oldest you would find. But what's the furthest back? This person born 1839, died 1920. If cemeteries aren't your thing, we won't be in here too long. Just passing through. There's one that says Baxter. I wonder if that's a pet. Any celebrities buried here? I'm sure there's some. These roads all kind of wind. I'm using my sense of direction to keep me moving north and to the west. I also think I'm going to take my sweater off. Hey, squirrel. I'll let that cute guy be. I'm going to take my sweater off. One sec. Here comes a stray cat view. There goes the squirrel. Hey, buddy. Am I making a squirrel friend here? There's our little buddy. If you want to see some animal action, check out Brad Palmer's channel. Seen some neat videos of him catching animals in the action. Is this George Washington? Man, when I die, just donate my body to science and that's it. I don't need any markings left on the earth. Donate my body to science and throw the rest into the compost bin. Ooh, there are some beautiful trees coming up. Greetings, Nick Johnson. Anthony is here. I'll be a great snack for the worms. Good. Claudia says, really? Yeah. If my organs are intact, maybe they'll find a new home and give someone a new lease on life. But return the rest to nature, please. That would be my wish. Look at this beautiful tree. This tree here is a silver maple. Some absolutely beautiful landscaping here. We'll have to come back and walk through the other side of the cemetery. Susan Murphy and Kevin Murphy. 1963 to 2019, 1933 to 1994. Looks like Kevin waited a while for Susan to join him. Yeah, well maintained is an understatement. This is some of the nicest landscaping in an open to the public space you will see in the city. And everyone in here seems to be driving or riding their bike very cautiously. A lot of people working out. It's a very, very pleasant place to be. Aside from the annoying YouTuber who won't stop jib-jabbering. Ooh. It's a standoff. I'm gonna let you be Mr. Squirrel or Mrs. Squirrel. Here's a interesting bench. Cover your eyes, children. Twisted Metal. This cemetery is so big. Without cars, you would need like golf carts for people to visit a lot of these plots. Imagine not having great mobility and needing to make your way through this giant cemetery to visit a loved one. Oh, I think that's the main building here. Do I have loved ones here? Not to my knowledge. I'm actually not entirely sure where the heck I am. I might pull out Google Maps here. So Yonge Street. Merton Street is that way. Yonge Street is that way. So we are facing south. So according to this,
she's like, I want to go to the red. So she goes, I want to go to the red light district. Have you heard of it? And I was like, have I heard?
we can go to Heath Street this way. I don't know if lost is the right word. Sandy Anderson, you are welcome. Wow, look at this. John Craig Eaton was laid to rest right there. All right, I think if we make a right here, this will kind of lead us towards an exit. Do I believe in ghosts? No. JD says that's the Eaton family. That makes some sense. Am I lost again? Yeah, it looks like there's a connection out of here. This way?
Do you happen to notice where the entrance is for the other side?
I'm trying to find my way out of here.
Oh, out. Well,
That way is Yonge Street, right?
I think that's Mount Pleasant over there.
Oh,
I think.
I'm lost. Sorry, I'm no help to you.
Okay. I came this way from Yonge.
Yonge that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just kind of.
It's very windy, right?
Oh my God, I know.
But beautiful.
Like I can cycle through it, no problem, but
Yeah.
walking with a dog, nope.
I can make my way to the Yellow Creek, no problem from...
Yeah, look for N. N, and that's near Yonge.
All right. Well, thank you and good luck. Yeah. It's a beautiful day. Friendly lady. We're just going to go this way. Got over 400 people watching me not know where the hell I'm going in a cemetery. Or I should say, heck, given where I am. It's not the worst place. To be stuck, it's quite beautiful. I'm trying to do this without Google Maps leading me out of here. I find when you do that, you tend not to learn your way properly. Captain James Cook and company didn't have Google Maps or GPS or cellular triangulation. but my sense of direction tells me go this way. Jellybean needs a compass. No, I stubbornly will not use a compass. And ladies and gentlemen, this is men in a nutshell. We're very good at directions. We know our east, west, north, and south. But when we get lost, we're gonna figure it out on our own. And there is a clue up there. I can see Yonge and St. Clair up there. I saw an office tower where CFRB 1010 used to be. So I am thinking this will lead us to Yonge Street, maybe? Maybe this will wind us up. Oh well, let's stay lost. I'm gonna have to rename this one. This is a beautiful tombstone. This is obviously very modern. Smitty says the Blair Witch Project was a good movie. Yeah, on an unrelated note, I think in terms of budget and profit taken, the Blair Witch was one of, if not the most profitable movie in history. I think Empleman did a very lengthy deep dive on YouTube about that. I know where I am. We've got the sun over there to the west. Go to the light. Literally, go to the light. Go towards the sun. I think we can make a left right here. And this should pop us out onto Yonge Street.
I just want to land. I don't want. That was what a mistake to buy them.
If this doesn't take me to Yonge Street, then I'll jump off the CN Tower. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure I know where I'm going. I've definitely ridden my bike along this stretch. But thank you for bearing with me. Holy cow, it's almost 6 p.m. Paraglide off the CN Tower? I was thinking more like swan dive off the CN Tower. Look at this playground. Funky stuff. Look at that. You think this cemetery was designed by the guy who does the IKEA layouts? Hey, at least IKEAs have giant arrows on the ground. We did it. We are here. We entered here. So somehow we looped through all of that madness and found our way over here. Yeah, Mark D, we'll do the east side of the cemetery in a future live stream for sure. Hello, Yonge and St. Clair neighborhood. Let's look north up Yonge Street as we re-emerge into civilization. Sal Smith says, watching Johnny break out of the corn maze. You hope that lady found her way out? I do too. Firehawk 12 says it's so loud once you leave. Yeah, remember, cities aren't loud. Cars are loud. Speaking of which, Not Just Bikes dropped a new video. That was quite good. Virginia Wedlake, $10. Thank you for an amazing stream. Virginia Wedlake, thank you so much for the $10. And for your continued membership. Thank you very much, Virginia. Sandy says, ghosts, I do believe in Johnny, they are real. Well, I don't think anyone can say they are real. You can say, I think they are real. And I would counter with, I think they are not. And we would just have to agree to disagree. Aliens are definitely real. There's zero question about that. Intelligent aliens? Most probably. Alright, thank you, Mr. Mountain Hiker. It was good to see you earlier. We didn't find any tombstones with someone dating as far back as 1830 like you did.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see. I don't know.
And this is my second time in this neighborhood today. No, Johnny, don't jump off the CN Tower today. Chris Mills says, how about alien ghosts? I suppose it's possible. I'm lucky I made it out of the cemetery alive. Yeah, me and 99.99999% of the people who enter it. I don't think Mount Pleasant Cemetery has a very high disappearance rate for humans. Big Sheila and the Beefy Boys. I can't say, well, I am going to the Jays game on Friday. This is south down the east side of Yonge Street. JD, no, we're using the internal mics of the camera. As long as it's not too windy, I think this might be the way to go. A lot of longtime viewers have pointed out they prefer the stereo sound. The mics on the Pocket 3 are vastly improved over the Pocket 2. There's the store that shall not be entered in May, and ideally all the other times of the year. Word of the day says Tuesday is cheap hot dog day. And we are at Yonge and St. Clair. Rosie says, so funny when you have mono sound with all the modern tech. Well, microphones are mono. So pretty much anyone using a lapel mic or a DJI mic is broadcasting in mono. There are some YouTubers who use binaural sound to record, and that simulates what your brain would hear on the left and right sounds, but they're typically not narrated. Ken gets mono or stereo sound because he just uses his phone microphones, which is similar to what I'm doing, using the camera microphone for this. What's for dinner? I don't know. There's Holy Chuck. And I don't think we're going to make it all the way to downtown, like I said in the title of this. Well, we'll definitely get to Summer Hill at least, maybe Rosedale. No, Marge, I'm just carrying more stuff with me. Kimberly fern, 40 bucks. More plants. Oh, boring herbs. And a look north. So I think I may have finally figured out this silly camera and live streaming. You'll notice we haven't really had any stutters I've been experimenting. I'm pretty confident these live streams now will not get broken up. Cam says today would have been a good Lululemon belt bag day. Yeah, except that I'm carrying stuff with me in my backpack. Evan loves that Kimberly fern. I've got 2 ferns. They were both misted earlier today. Rutej asking, how's my apartment? It is much better. Sal Smith says, so it's not Rogers, Bell, or Telus' fault? Well, in the past it was. Whenever the signal would get weak, this thing would really stumble and start to break up. And I've been playing with the settings and my own setup so that doesn't happen. So if we do have hiccups with the live stream, it'll absolutely be Roger's fault. Whereas before, Rogers would trigger it. Whenever the upload would dip below 6,000 kbps, we'd be in a world of trouble, but we should be able to survive now. Jeanette Morales, $5. Happy Monday, Johnny and pals. Jeanette, happy Monday to you down in Houstonia. It is an absolutely beautiful day, and that north end of the Yorkville skyline is really transforming from this angle. Some big new towers emerging. Thank you, Jeanette. Twisted Metal says, how many mobile providers do I use? Just one. I have an offer in my inbox from Bell. They're trying to lure me back with a $40 a month 100 gigabyte plan. Freedom is trying to get me back for $29 with 50 gigs. But I've got my 2 SIM card plan with Rogers, 2 SIM cards that share the same data, and that's 170 gigs. Yeah, JD, I think we're going to use the internal mic for the time being for live streams. So this neighborhood is Summer Hill. What does a 2-hour live stream chew up bandwidth wise? I think maybe 5 or 6 gigabytes. Mark D, I've had a few. Not this many.
So how was your day?
I've also had aquatic plants. And we're at Shaftesbury Avenue, so we are where Summer Hill subway station is. So what we're going to do is we're going to head down to Rosedale. Seems like a good spot to me. Maybe it's time to take a new thumbnail for the stream. Just pulled out the Beast to snap a few pictures. All hail the mighty S24 Ultra. And we're about to walk under the Midtown CP rail tracks. JPS says it's great weather for Niagara Falls. Well, the good news is it's going to be great weather for, like, what, the next 6 months? May, June, July, August, September, into October. It's funny, I went to lands far away 3 times earlier this year to very tropical climates. And now that the nice weather is here, I really have no desire to get away and go anywhere. It's one of the reasons why I go away in the colder months. Hey lady, ever heard of a turn signal? Oh, you're driving an Audi? You don't have to let the world know what you're doing? Cool. Ooh, flowers. No more snow anymore? Not till November, I would think. Have I ever been to Wasaga Beach? I have, a long time ago. Chris Mill says no use for winter. I have use for winter. It's called motivation for getting on a plane. I'm going to try to dust off my move-in e-bike, which is on my balcony. Oil it up, fill up the tires, and try to take it out for a spin. Now that the good weather is here, I've got a single speed bike my brother gave me. I still have to get some pedals for it. But hopefully we can get that out later this month. Pirate says, public mobile for the win. Highway robbery at the gas station? Not my problem. Why is this guy walking on the left? Gets my goat when people do that. Rip to that Starbucks. Mark D, hopefully later this month. There's a lot of really lovely boutique stores in this area. Ramsden Park just up here on the right. House of Tea. Will I be going to Carasaga? I don't think so. Mississauga, for someone without a car, is a PITA to get to. Kevin says in the USA we walk on the left. No, you don't. That's a bold-faced lie. Pretty much every culture on earth, people, the unwritten rule is to walk on the side that you drive on. And if you don't, you may get an elbow or shoulder in the face if you don't move out of the way. Not saying I do that, but I have seen plenty of people do that. There's a look at the Yorkville skyline. But we're gonna head into Rosedale and head down to the subway platform. I got here a little faster. You know what? No. We're gonna head down to Yonge-Bloor, or Bloor-Yonge. I'm here before I thought I would be here, by about 10 minutes. So let's keep the stream alive. Greg says always walk towards traffic. Well, on a street with no sidewalks, it makes sense to walk on the left side of the street. I agree with you, but on a sidewalk, you 100% of the time should be walking on the right, not on the left. Like this lady here, walking on the right side. But yeah, if you ever find yourself on a road with no sidewalks, it's better to walk against the grain. See all these people walking on the right? We're living in a society here. Imagine if you just stopped him and said, "Sir, move to the right, you're annoying me," my viewers. No, I don't actually do that. I think things, but I let it go in public. Because at the end of the day, who am I to tell people where to walk or what to do? Jellybean says, I always think about what side I walk on now. We're at Belmont Street. Ford Mustang. Walking police. Should give that guy a ticket. Greg is 2 hours north of Toronto. That's probably fairly rural. Why is this guy in an e-scooter when there's a bike lane right here? At least he's walking it now. There we go. What a gorgeous, gorgeous day. How long before Schneider is fired and the team becomes sellers at the deadline? I hope Shapiro and Atkins get fired. I mean, Schneider has been given nothing to work with. He obviously wasn't behind that decision to pull Barrios in the playoffs last year. He's really just a puppet or a fall guy at this point. I think it's time to clean house. This team has been nothing but a disappointment since Alex Anthopoulos left. They got their stadium renovations.
I know, that's what I think it is.
Let's focus on the field now. There's a Canadian Tire. I may have purchased a few plants from there. And we're at Church Street, the north end of Church Street, and it becomes Davenport Road on the other side. There's the old Masonic Temple. Greg says the Jays are now last in their division, last in a very tough division. Mark D, I have no idea. Sheena, I have scissors. That is good enough. All right, 274-727. It's 127 there. Where the heck are you? Davenport sounds like a female tennis player. Who was it? Lindsay Davenport? So when I get to Bloor-Yonge station, I'm going to pop in and bid you farewell. Where George is, it is 12:28. March says he's in Finland. That makes sense. Guy setting the alarm on his e-bike. Smart stuff. There's a Burrito Boys moving in. I think maybe we'll head down to the Humber Bay Bridge and do a waterfront stream from down there in a while. It's been a while since I've been down that way. Maybe I'll do the Queensway in a video or live stream as well. It's the reference library on the left. This is the Yorkville neighborhood. But behold, it is the destination, TTC Bloor-Yonge Station. So on this note, I want to thank everyone who tuned in for this one. I want to thank those who sent support. I want to thank the mods, channel members, Patreon supporters, and everyone else. Detroit Dale says, do another suburb. Yeah, in due time, I need a good reason to get out to suburbia. I try not to pollute the channel too much with those videos, but I'm sure we'll get around to it at some point. As we look up at 1 Bloor West. But again, I want to thank everyone so much, and I hope you are enjoying this beautiful Monday afternoon. Or evening, I guess it is now. Thank you, Jeanette, Greg Keating, Evan, Mary W., Twisted Metal, Robert, H. Hustle, John O'Meara, Gertej, Marie Palmer, JD, Cam, Nabel Koss, Ken Wood. Thank you very much. I'm gonna pick up some food, go eat said food, and then put my feet up for the night. Thank you guys. Yoink.